Okay, people, here we go with the Santa hat. One more time. One more time for the week, because we are now just 2 days away from Christmas. Your official countdown to Christmas webcam on the Parker and the Man page at yournews.com. Here we are already. I have to always look. It's the 23rd. So you got today and tomorrow for shopping, and that's it. But welcome into it. Today we're going to do a little preview early of the Lions and the 49ers. There's only 2 games left. And the preview is actually more of a look at the offensive coordinator for Mike Singletary in San Francisco, and that is none other than Michigan State's very own Jimmy Raye. Jimmy Raye was a great quarterback for Michigan State back in the 60s. He led them to a Rose Bowl and to a national championship. He was also the QB of the infamous 10-10 tie against Notre Dame back in 1966. I can't believe that's now 43 years ago, but it is. And the guy who hails from Fayetteville, North Carolina, has been around a long time. He's been coaching since 1971 when he started at Michigan State, and you've got to read my kind of chronology of how this happened for Jimmy to get to where he is now in San Francisco. A lot of stops along the way. The Raye family has moved quite often. As I mentioned, they rent, they don't buy, I would think, because basically, I worked this out, they move once every 2.37 years. And that's a long time when you consider Jimmy is 63 years old. But he is doing the job for Mike Singletary as the offensive coordinator. He's trying to get Alex Smith back as the QB for the 49ers after a rough patch for Alex since he was drafted #1 overall a few years ago. The Niners are playing for nothing, just like the Lions. Lions 2-12, just playing out the string now, 2 games left. Niners and Bears, they got this one trip to San Francisco, which they probably would rather not take because it's a long way to go to lose. But, you know, if they can avoid the 20th consecutive road loss, then God bless them. As far as Singletary goes, I'm telling you, the hat's messing us up. So after this is over, the hat won't mess up the webcam anymore. It says white on the hat. They're 6-8. And they're 5-2 at home, so they're pretty good. And they've also won 13 of the last 15 against the Lions. Oh, that's a surprise. There's a big streak of wins for San Francisco. And that goes back to the famous 1983 playoff victory. And I call it famous because that's the one where Monty Clark was on the sidelines praying. They showed him praying when Eddie Smith was going to kick the field goal, and Eddie, wide right. So they lost that. And as you know, they've only won 1 playoff game since, and that was back. Okay, enough with that. We've talked about that 1.5 million times. So there it is. It's basically just a look at Jimmy Raye's travels, the odyssey that is Jimmy Raye, who's a great, terrific guy, quiet guy. Singletary's fiery kind of guy with the eyes. He's always had the eyes. Remember that when he was with the Bears? You'd see it through the helmet. He's kind of a piece of work. And the Letterman parody, if you haven't seen the Letterman stuff when they parody Mike Singletary, very funny. So there it is. Just a little early preview because this is Christmas week and Christmas Day is Friday, so I figured, there you go. Let's do that. Got an itch. Also, check out AP Player of the Year award in college football. I guess it's not a real stunner because he was up for the Heisman, but that's Ndamukong from Nebraska. Look at that. It's just going to keep doing that. I can't get rid of that. There we go. Come on back. All right. Ndamukong from Nebraska. Player of the Year over Toby Gerhart of Stanford. He's the first defender since they started naming this award back in 1998, and everybody wants Sue. He's the a boy named Sue. He is the guy who is really coveted in the National Football League come draft time. And if he has a good combine, all he has to do is have a mediocre combine. He'll probably be the #1 overall pick. The Lions need to have him. They need to get Sue, Ndamukong Suh. By the way, his name, which looks like Ndamukong Suh, is Cameroon, and it actually stands for House of Spears. Give me that guy. I'll take him on my defensive line, thank you. And just a really cool dude, this Ndamukong Suh, too. If you haven't heard him speak and talk, he's a very intelligent kid. So there you go, AP Player of the Year, first defender to ever win that. Check that out. Serena Williams, the top female athlete for 2009. And I don't know if she's laughing more or Clint Cloisters is laughing, because the runner-up to Serena Williams was a horse. Now, I'm all about horses. I mean, I love my horse. Secretary's one of my all-time faves, man. I love the trotters and the thoroughbreds and everything. You all know it if you've ever heard our radio show. I'm big on the, not just the Kentucky Derby and the Triple Crown races, but I'm big on horse racing. I just don't know that a horse, and that was Zenyatta, who won the Breeders' Cup. Come on. Finished second. I just don't know if they should be in the human categories. That's all. They have their own categories. They have horse categories. They have Horse of the Year and Breeders of the Year and Trainers of the Year. All right, so Zenyatta finished second. So I don't know if Serena's going, man, I beat out a horse. Or Kim Clijsters saying, I lost to a horse. But I write about that as well. Michigan State's lost to Texas. I didn't expect them to beat number 2 Texas. They're number 9. Texas was certainly the favorite at home in Austin. What bothered me was what Tom Izzo said. He said his team might not have been hungry enough and might have been fatigued. Well, they haven't played a game in like ever. It's been like 10 days, and they only played one in the last 12. I don't know if that's really, if I would, I don't know. I guess I'm going back to the North Carolina game on December 2nd, and they only played, 2 teams since, and both of them Citadel and IPFW. You're not ready to play Texas at Texas? And you're going to say you're fatigued or not hungry enough? They didn't look it, though, that's for sure. It's kind of an easy cakewalk for the Longhorns to stay unbeaten. Big Ten kind of interesting. Northwestern is 10-1. Purdue's now 11-0. And you see Indiana lost to Loyola of Maryland at home last night. Tommy Crean. Tom Izzo's former assistant, Tom Crean. I'm telling you, Bobby Knight is rolling over in his grave, and he's not even dead yet. So you can read about that, too. Fernando Rodney could be an Angel by the time you even see this webcam. The Angels in heavy discussions with the Tiger closer. People are, and I wrote this, a little flippant about losing Fernando Rodney and Brandon Lyon, but it's hard to get those guys. And, yes, it could be very much out of focus by the time the Tigers hit spring training in 2010 in February down in Lakeland. Get yourself a closer and a setup guy. They don't just fall off the tree, man. And so everybody's kind of like, well, we lose Fernando Rodney. He has 50 saves in 2 years, 37 last season. And one final thing, check out my Twas the Night Before Christmas Detroit style. That'll kind of wrap up the week. We'll have that for you tomorrow, so you want to read that. And other than that, have a Merry Christmas. Have a great one, and we'll see you, of course, for New Year's Week 2009 next week. So there it is, all the stuff. Jimmy Ray piece with the 49ers as the Lions get set to finish the road schedule, try to avoid their 20th road loss in a row. Ndamukong winning the AP Player of the Year for college football. Serena top female over a horse. MSU loses at Texas, and Fernando Rodney could be on his way to California, to Anaheim, with the LA Angels. It's all there on the Parker Demand page, yournews.com. Santa Hat 2009 goes back into mothballs. And again, 'twas the night before Christmas tomorrow, and have a great one. Merry Christmas, everybody. Ho, 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 from everybody here at yournews.com.